All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Quick sound check, quick screen check. Morning, Dylan. Morning, AP, Elroy, and Adam. Mark, Tommy, Terry. Great to see everybody. Hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Hope you did your homework. Yeah, guys, happy Monday. How we doing today? Hey, Chris, Butch, Bill, Walt. So good to see you all. Back to work so soon. That's funny, lifelong. No problem, guys. If you have a lot of questions, that's why we're here. So, as always, guys, we're going to hopefully trade a little today, hopefully answer a lot of questions, value, value, value. But we are starting a little bit earlier here so we can dive into some prep, not only from the weekend, but also for today. So, with that being said, guys, let me dig into my prep, share my thoughts, save your questions, and I'll answer them afterwards. But let's get right to it here. Make the most of our time. All right, guys. So first thing we always want to talk about is the markets, right? Where are the markets and where can we expect to go today? So let's just start with a daily chart here and just take a peek at the overall market. So we had a really, really nice drop the past few days. So starting to get a bit extreme. What we were focused on, what we were together for was that initial pop, very healthy cover here off of the bottom. That Friday was very, very strong and got us right back up into this recent consolidation. So if we take a look at the market, just kind of zoomed out, we don't have the easiest levels, guys, to focus on. We're kind of back inside of a big cluster here. There's not really any major inflection points. Things do get a bit tougher when you go, into these sideways ranges. However, we do have some good key levels to focus on here for the overall market. Let's get to it. So this was the drawing set, guys, that we were working with last week. So as I mentioned, I always start with a new drawing set. So again, this is kind of what we were working off of last week, and this is now, boom, a nice, beautiful, updated version. So let's just walk through it here, team. The first key level in the first zone that, we were in last night when I shared my thoughts, and we're actually still in it here this morning, this is our point of control zone. You guys are always going to have one of these when you go to markup charts. One is last month's point of control. So I mentioned to keep that on your chart for a while. That's this 4178. Just continue to be in a great level. And then we have our new point of control. So let's just make sure that we check, see where it is. And again, guys, I see a lot of questions. It's all in the material. Go through it slowly. You get point of control from a 30-minute, 10-day chart. It's a monthly reference, but don't go to a monthly chart. Keep it as simple as that, guys. Don't overthink it. Go to 30-minute, 10-day, find that blue line, mark it, and then move on. So that's what gives us this first zone here, team, is that 41.46. That's our current point of control, rounded up slightly with that old point of control. We're just kind of bouncing back and forth here between liquidity. If we take a look here, guys, at the daily mean, so the daily 21 moving average, this is also a level that I focus on. If we take a look here, this is a white line that's plotted from the daily chart. So it's actually showing us where the daily mean is currently. It's pretty much right at that point of control, team. So I'm not even going to mark it. But what we want to understand here is that this is a big level of liquidity. Not only is it our current point of control, it's also the current daily 21 EMA, which is another big level that I focus on. So this is going to be a really big critical inflection point. Do we hold here and start to rally this week? Do we just chop in between these 2 point of controls? Or do we break down and start that journey lower? So let's just start with the lower journey here, team. If and when we start to break back down through point of control, I like this drop here, team. Going to focus on Thursday's HOD as a little inflection point. And then right to, you can't really see it in our daily chart, guys, but this is where that current day opened. So we got that 41.05, grabbing that daily wick. So we got that Thursday HOD. We got Friday's open. And if we take a look here intraday, we get rid of these moving averages. So again, taking that 41.05, which is where Friday officially opened. So again, I want to start on a daily chart to get these wicks. And I simply just filled it in here, guys, with a nice little drop on Thursday that led to this big pop. If and when we break below that zone, focus on the 50-day moving average, which currently sits at 40.67-ish. So this is a level, guys, that I'm not using, exact wicks. I'm just adding it in there. So right now we're at 40, 67, 25. So I'll just slightly update that. And then the final level below here, team, is pretty simple. We're taking Wednesday's low zoned with this little after hours low. So I hope you guys have had a chance to kind of study this chart. I'm breaking it down with you, but hopefully this all makes sense. So those are the downside inflections that I'm going to focus on. And for the upside, guys, it's actually fairly simple here, right? If we zoom out a bit. So remember our old drawing set here on ES, we had our prior all-time high. It broke it, gave us a new all-time high with a really nice inflection point here that it just broke through and bled. So if we switch it here, team, you'll see that I've simply just upgraded our charts to reflect those same inflection points. So if and when we do break through point of control here, I'm going to focus again on that key little wick right here. But then the most important zone is that prior all-time high, that 42.11, zone with our new all-time high, this 42.38. So this is the levels, team, that I'll be focused on for the week. And this truly becomes our roadmap. So let's look at our ATR here for the overall market. It's about 53 points. So let's just follow the map here real quick. Excuse me. So we're down a bit here, guys. We're down 13 points. So we'll just call it flat from where we are. And let's just start to look at where 50 points above and below is. So 53 points pretty much gets us to our first prior all-time high at 42.11. So that's our first kind of target for the upside today. Do we hold point of control? Do we break back out and start to rally to 42.11? Right, guys? This is why ATR is so important. I don't expect all-time high. That's 83 points away. It can happen if we keep breaking key levels, but that's why we have a map with multiple levels to give us at least some logical target for today. So again, guys, if we hold point of control at 41.60, we got to deal with 41.78. Through there, going to focus on this little wick here. And then if we clear that, look at that prior all-time high at 42.11. And again, it fits our ATR. So it makes sense. To the downside here, team, of about 50 points again, if we lose 41.60, and if we break Friday's HOD, 53 points, guys, gets us down to our next key zone. This is why, guys, remember, when we leave one zone, we're either going to head to the next one or we're going to head to the next one. That's all trading is, where we can just chop in here all day. We could leave and then fail. But it gives us a map, guys, of, if we continue steady, we'll probably end up here. If we continue weak, we'll probably end up here. So that's the two zones, guys, that I'll be focused on for today. I hope that makes sense. So let's talk about SPX. Mondays, typically, team, aren't my favorite days to trade. I'll just be honest here. It is Monday. We have a session together, but they're personally not my favorite. And the reason being is because premiums are going to be the most expensive that they're going to be all week. However, we do have SPX, which, if you remember, we get 3 0 days, so same day expires 3 times a week, with Monday being one of those days. So with every other name, team, the premiums aren't going to be as, appetizing. They'll still be good. We'll still look for some trades, but Monday is usually not my favorite day because, again, when everything's more expensive, they don't move as much. So our risk reward kind of gets skewed a bit. However, with SPX, we still do have 0 days. So we always want to make sure SPX is top of our focus here on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, especially Mondays when there's nothing else. So again, guys, for today, we want to be patient with this overall market, but if we start to break down, remember, we can drop about 50 points here. So we could drop down anywhere, guys, towards 4,100. So if we start to look at puts here, you can see, guys, I like to focus on puts that, one, are realistic, meaning we have an ATR that we can actually reach them. So again, anything in the 4,100 vicinity. And then I also like puts that are in the $1 to $2 range. So anywhere in this range, guys, are going to be really good strikes to focus on. Right now, we can add, let's see, we'll add 4120s to our watch list. So if you guys have that watch list and you're doing this with me, you can right click on the chain, add to watch list, and then add it to options. That's what you'll have saved. So again, I'll call these out over and over, guys, but just want to start to get a sense of what we want to play if and when the market starts to unfold here. So 4120s to the downside look decent. Right? Can also go further here, team. So these aren't final strikes. I'll even add another one. And then to the upside here, remember, same strategy. What's realistic, what fits our ATR, and what fits our key levels. So right now we're focused on getting guys pretty much to and through 4,200. So if we look, 4,200s are fairly cheap right now, a little too cheap. So going to focus guys on something a little more realistic here. And the chain's going to update it open, but for now we will focus on, let's see, 4190, because that gets us to our first little target. So we'll put the 4190s on that watch list, and we're also going to put the 4185s on the watch list. So boom, that's SPX, team. And again, I'll call these strikes out, guys, because they will change. That's the nature of 0 days. Is it really depends when things unfold and what they're priced at that point. Tom, I would love to have that option chain window. Can you share? I can't, my friend, but I can show you how to do it very quickly. So if you just go to trade here, guys, you'll see your option chain. You just want to click here, and that'll detach it. And that's what's going to give you, a full option chain in another window. Make sure you pin it so it stays, and that's where you can just drag it around. So that's why I have my option chain out. Yeah, no problem, Tom. Pretty basic but helpful things, right? So let's keep moving here, guys. That is the overall market and SPX. Hope that makes sense. So let's talk about a few levels, guys, for, a few levels on my focus list. So the first name is NVIDIA. And if you recall, just want to show you guys, this is the chart that we were using last week. We're looking for that push off of the bottom and a push back to point of control. We got exactly that. However, we always want to update, and boom. Now we have another drawing set with more levels above, some fresher levels below. So let's talk about it here, team. So NVIDIA took a really, really nice round trip, right? They've been getting their butt absolutely handed to them. However, they hit that daily cloud top on Thursday, and that was our sign that it could start to reverse. Popped right back to point of control, our favorite magnet. So now, team, the question becomes, do we continue off this bottom here and see a day 2 after, lots and lots of blood? It should get accumulated. If it doesn't, that's not necessarily a good sign. So I really like NVIDIA here today and this week, both above and below. As always, no bias. So let's just talk about this drawing set here, team. All right, first level is always going to be that point of control, 570, right? We don't care about the 4 cents. 570, a really nice key level. Basic inflection here, guys, of Tuesday, where we gapped down, we popped, and then got destroyed. We ran all the way back to it here on Friday, and that's our first little key inflection point that we want to focus on. So 570 to 574, that's really the first upside range here, team, that we have to break through. If and when we break through that, going to focus on our secondary magnet, which is that daily 21 EMA, which currently sits at 580. If we zoom back here, team, getting a bit messy, so I just went and grabbed a basic little inflection point here of 582-ish, 583. Right, nice little drop through it, rejected, pop through it, and then completely drop through it. Just wanted a little minor zone here in between. So if and when, guys, we can start to hold, and let's talk about our downside zones here. Taking this 558, that pre-market level, which held nicely, and zoning it with Thursday's HOD right here, which is also the 50-day moving average. If I show these moving averages here, team. 50 sitting right below. So anywhere in this range, looking for a possible dip buy on NVIDIA. Can they hold the 50, start to work their way back up to the point of control, and they continue higher here to the daily mean? If you take a look at ATR from close of about 20 points, we easily could run to and through that daily mean. Vice versa here, team, gapping down about 5 points. If we break the 50, we got 12 points to get to our next target. And then ATR of 20 points, guys, gets us down to Friday's low of 550. So a lot of basic but strong key inflection points here. Personally, guys, I'm going to lean a little bit bullish. Let me correct that. I'm going to lean a little bit bullish, always ready to change, just how on a little bit of a general, I don't want to say bias, but thesis. So I rather buy the dip here on NVIDIA, but if it breaks, we have a map to follow. So again, no bias, team, but I would like to see it hold up here. So for this morning on NVIDIA, going to focus, guys, on do we hold this 50 here, right, which is just Thursday's HOD? Do we get that retest and that bounce back to point of control? That's really going to be the first trade that I'm looking to take today. We got to focus on pre-market HOD, so I threw in 568. But if and when, team, we clear here, again, we have plenty of ATR to run towards 580 or plenty of ATR to drop towards 550. So we got a lot of good key levels to focus on here today, team. And one thing I do want to talk about is the clouds. So make sure you pay attention, guys. As we start to run near these bigger picture clouds, that could be a big wall for any name. So, with NVIDIA here, as you can see, guys, our upside zone at some point is going to be that 4-hour cloud. If it takes a day to break the zone, well, then we're going to be with it right there. So just keep in mind, we can bounce, but as long as we start to near this cloud, we're going to have to deal with it and get through it. So just a reference point, guys, to focus on. For NVIDIA here, the options that I'll be gauging, as you might imagine, line up with our targets and ATR. Tom, where are you getting ATR? I don't see on your chart. Right here, my friend, on this column, the ATR section. So you can see NVIDIA has a 20, just calling it a 20-point ATR. So for NVIDIA, guys, to cover some of the options on the watch list, right? I want to be locked and loaded for everything. So watching the 580 calls, 590 calls, and even the 600 calls. That's our upside zone above. So again, doesn't mean we're going to get there, but I'm prepared for it. ATR can technically get us there. So we do want to just be ready, team. So again, 580s, 590s, 600s, kind of going every 10 points here. And then to the downside, let's see. Focus, team, on the 550 puts. That's pretty much all I have right now for puts on my radar, because that is our next inflection point if we start to break down. So prepared for above and prepared for below. And yeah, guys, if you don't have ATR on this watch list, you can just simply add it by clicking the gear icon. You can add it to any watch list. Let's see, Roku. Roku is a name I like this week, guys. Not going to watch it a ton today, but if we take a look here, it's starting to squeeze on a 4-hour chart. So just slowly but surely consolidating. We're getting a 2-hour squeeze as well. Tight, tight, tight. So this is not a name that I like too much, guys, because again, remember when we're going through our prep process, we want to find names that have a very easy range. Right here, right, what does the stock have to deal with? This isn't the best looking range by any means, right? It's hard, we're kind of stuck. So again, this is my favorite setup, but if we do start to break, guys, this key little zone, that's also breaking the 4-hour cloud, would love a shot back up to fill this wick. I just go back and get that key wick. So that's about 337. So just a little side focus to watch on your radar, team. Let it consolidate. Remember, we're on the the magnet. So just let it do its magnet, and maybe we get the cannon. So for now, guys, on Roku, keeping it fairly simple. I just have 330 calls up and 340 calls right in that vicinity. Really no interest shorting Roku at the moment. Moving on here, team. Let's see. Square's not a ton of great setups today, guys, but I'm going to show a few. So what is Amazon? One concept that you want to focus on, team, is relative strength. If you look this morning at most of the names, in the market, a lot of them are gapping down, right? Which makes sense. The market's gapping down. There's only one name on my radar today that is set to gap up, and that is actually Amazon. Why? I'm actually not sure, guys. Let's see. I want to always check our news. So Amazon launches employee design health and safety program. Amazon union vote in spotlight. Amazon Music HD price cut to $9.90 a month. So nothing too crazy here, team. But again, we want to recognize that relative strength where NQ's down 0.5%, right? Apple's going to be opening down. Facebook's going to be opening down. Google's going to be opening down. You can find the one name that's giving you signs of, hey, I want to absolutely explode if the market can hold. This is a really good name here, team. So the only problem I have with Amazon is, one, it's Monday, and two, the premiums are ludicrous, meaning they just cost an arm and a leg. So I will have up the Amazon 3300s here, team, which close at about $13. So we'll see if this is, a really good setup. if the premium makes sense, and if we could play this one back up to this key zone here. And this is a very basic zone here, team. We have point of control above for most of last week, and it ends up dropping down here. I actually spent most of our time just sitting around it. So now again, looking for that magnet back up to that prior, that cannon back up to that prior magnet. Just focus on a very simple level here, guys, of that Monday's low. So this was my level to watch, which we're already cracking it. So we'll keep a close eye on Amazon here, team, to start. And again, it's not my favorite because of the premium, but we could see an easy, nice push towards 3,300. ATR of about 78 points. Again, just go from close. You can see, team, that point of control is pretty much exactly an ATR away. A lot of zones, guys, and a lot of key levels, they're going to line up nicely with ATR. That's just something that I've found. It's something that works a lot, pretty accurate. So as long as we hold here and travel, we should at least travel here. And yep, I'll share this Amazon chart, guys. If you want any of these charts, just let me know, and I'll post them in the chat. There's Amazon. So another setup, team, is our snowflake. So we did a great job of recognizing this one on Friday. Nice little breakout and push. Did not stop all day. So I want to keep it on the radar, guys. Right? This is a name that has just been beat up forever and ever and ever. And it looks like they are starting to bottom here. So we definitely want to focus on a day 2. Biggest thing I'll be watching, team, is getting back towards some basic moving averages. First is that daily mean, so the 21 EMA. And I'm just using this wick here. If we hold this wick, we break through it, we should have a nice push, guys, back up towards the 50-day moving average, which you can see I'm using a pre-market level right now. Let's go take a look. Right there, team. This is why I recommend having those pre-market levels, because on the daily, it stops right here. On the pre-market, it's just a little higher. So I like to have it as a reference point. Point of control, guys, still below, right? So we got that really beautiful point of control dip on Friday. We're probably not going to get it again here, right? If it comes all the way down to POC, not looking to buy that one quite yet. But what I will look for here today, team, is the following. Can we get a retest of that prior zone that we had? So remember, we went zone to zone, and that was simply just a basic inflection point. If we can hold there and then start to rally back, I love this dip buy. Looking to play up towards Friday's HOD. If we break Friday's HOD, we got that next zone above here, team. So fairly simple for snow. What I want to watch, team, is the 220 calls to start. Those got a lot of good volume. So let's see, snow 220 calls. And again, with ATR about 12 bucks. Let's move that over. Right from close, 12 bucks, guys, it gets us to that 50-day moving average. So doesn't mean, guys, it's going to rip to 220, but what matters is it's possible. So we're just going to wait. We're going to see. We're going to collect information. If it shows signs of being ready, we have our game plan here. We have our strikes. Everything's prepared. Remember the prep section, team. So that's my thoughts here on snow. Just simply, guys, looking for a day 2 of accumulation. Huge, huge day. Little pullback here. We definitely want to keep an eye on it. And while we are here, guys, let's mark let's mark pre-market low. We want to focus on that in case we don't get a full dip buy back down to our zone. And just going to focus on prior day's HOD. Right, pre-market's kind of right near it, so we'll just focus on these 2 levels here. So first dip buy would be right here. First target here. Through there, guys, headed to our zone. And then we see. Next setup, guys, and one of the last setups here, and I also want to cover Tesla, is Airbnb. So if we take a look at Airbnb, this is another name that's just gotten its butt absolutely handed to it. However, it's nearing a big key level where it usually gets some accumulation here. We got through earnings on Friday, and we saw some really big volume here to end the week. If we take a look here, we're just sitting right on point of control. So I want to be very, very patient. Slightly gapping down, needs to turn around and break through this 144. If it does, team, looking for a push back up towards 150. If you take a look here, I took a screenshot of the option volume from Friday. In the, where is it? The Airbnb 150s, team, have 20,000 volume. Huge. So remember the little trick I shared? When they do that, guys, we're probably going to go to 150. It's just a matter of when. So 150 strikes, team, I will have up locked and loaded, ready to go if and when it starts to reverse here. Remember, one big thing I taught in the class, guys, was cloud reversal sequences, where we trail under these clouds, and until we start to break above them, nothing changes. So we got our first break above the 30-minute cloud on Friday, and now we're holding it here. So that leads into the shift. So if we take a look, guys, we're actually grinding in that hourly today. We're trying to break out of it. So remember the sequence. You're above the 30, you got to deal with the hourly, which will simply break if we just push a little bit here. Next big cloud is the 2-hour team. We've been below this for a long time. We pop near on Friday and we start to fade here after hours. So again, this little pre-market high level, that's going to be our cloud bottom today. So we got to get through this team. You don't have to mark these cloud levels, but I would keep them on your radar. So we'll actually just draw a little inflection point right there, team. Where if we could pop back to POC, rip through there, we're traveling through that cloud, looking to get to the top of it. And again, if you look at the other clouds, guys, as we start to rally, at some point, we'll have to deal with the 4-hour. But we're just getting that classic reversal here. We're below it, below it, below it. If we start to shift, we're looking for that rally higher. AP, Airbnb has lockout expiration today, I believe. It seems a little too... You might be right, my friend. Not questioning you. I didn't see that anywhere. I appreciate that heads up, though. So we'll see, guys. But that's my focus list, team. Pretty short, sweet, and to the point. So let me just reset my screens here. We got 3 minutes till open. I'll answer any questions, guys. But hopefully that prep got everyone up to speed. All right. So to start our session here, team, going to focus on obviously the two markets that matter most. I have YM on another screen, but we got ES and NQ. First thing to deal with is our 5-minute clouds. So we both fell to our zone bottom, right, from one point of control all the way to another point of control. So I'd like to see us, how do we react to start here? Do we pop and reject that 1-minute cloud? Do we break through and continue to rally? We also want to watch NQ here, who's not quite popping off their bottom. So just some good 5-minute clouds in play here, team. We got NVIDIA, which I'm going to switch to a 1-minute chart. Remember, team, we got our pre-market low. We got our Friday HOD, also a little after-hour HOD. If we can get a dip, like a push towards, sorry, it's just snow, like a push your team towards that 214. And then same thing with NVIDIA. Unfortunately, we wanted that dip by here at the 50, which is perfect, but it's getting away from us. So we'll see if we get a retest here, team, maybe a higher low. We got some good stuff to watch. And again, we do have that 5-minute cloud approaching. All right, let me get settled here. So to start, guys, I'll be watching NVIDIA 580 calls and those Snow 220 calls. And I'll be yelling all the changes that I make to that. But just something to watch here to start. All right, team. All right, guys. So again, I will, scream when I'm about to execute. I'm going to do my best to post alerts when I execute. I'll do my best to make sure everyone is up to date on what's going on. And if things are slow, team, let's spend a lot of time just answering questions, going over, whatever you guys want, because I want the system to click. But we got 5 seconds here, team. So happy Monday. Let's focus a little bit here at open, and then, I'll start to take some questions. But ding, ding, ding. The week has begun. So general rule of thumb, guys, when we start the week, never be in a rush. It's Monday, and we're 3 seconds into it. So don't ever feel the need, guys, to trade right at open, especially when the week has just started. The more information we can collect, the merrier. So let's keep watching here. Nothing ever usually happens, team, on the first candle. If it does, you'll get a re-entry. Doug, if you look in the alert box, my friend, you'll see that. Just Just give me 1 second, team. Setting a few things up. All right. So remember what I taught you guys last week. When you have your list of options, start to pay attention to what gets volume, what do they open at, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so Amazon's slowly packing on, and G's already 23 bucks. A little pricey. So one thing we haven't got to talk about, team, because our first session was on Friday together, but one critical concept that's super important in day trading is rotation. And if you guys look right now, I don't have it on this chart, but you can see ES going higher and NQ going lower. The reason that's happening is because of YM, the other index, is exploding right now. So what we're seeing, team, is called rotation, where they sell technology, they buy the things in the Dow, and it makes ES kind of just stay afloat here. So you'll see, guys, again, tech names are going to get beat up here a little bit. The key with rotation is to see, 1, how long does it last? And then 2, what happens when it changes? So what I mean by this, team, and wow, this is a quick start. What I mean by this, guys, is if YM stops going higher and they don't buy NQ, be wary of everybody now going lower. So again, just a little seed I wanted to plant there. But let's keep watching here, team. Quick bloody start. If you guys have any call outs at all, feel free to call them out. I will peek at the chat when I can here. So I know we talked about internals last week. One big thing with internals, guys, is pay attention when we gap into negatives, because if, with rotation, if YM keeps going higher, it's going to start to drag ADD towards positive, where if ADD keeps going lower, that means we're actually seeing overall selling here in the market. So let's pay attention as this, opening range starts to get created on ADD. I just like to, set lows, set highs, just see where it goes. So we got Snow, guys, trying to reverse again. Maybe we get that 1 minute cloud play again that we got on Friday. I want to be a bit weary here with the market pulling back, but we'll see. All right, Snow off to the races. Give me 1 minute, guys. I don't have a tape pulled up. That's my bad. I should have a tape pulled up. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. All right, team. So Snow, quickly try in here. Let's keep an eye on this one. This is nice. Kind of getting that same exact setup we got on Friday. Just gonna keep watching here for a minute because I was a little slow to get prepared. So remember the tape, team. We want to try to recognize big sellers, like right here, 33 at 299.99. So just call it 210-ish level. That's where we got to deal with our first wall of sellers. NVIDIA is starting to hold our zone here, team. So notice, guys, that the market, bleeds a little bit, but then as soon as tech pops, the market goes back to pushing. That's clear rotation. So let's keep watching here on Snow, guys. Not going to rush into these highs, but if we get a little pullback, a little base, maybe just a little sideways here, then break through this 210-ish, that could be a nice trade here. So remember, guys, be prepared. I got the 220 calls up. This week's expire, ready to execute. Not in it yet, but we're going to be ready here in a minute if things start to look decent. So remember, watch this 210. It looks like we actually just got through that 210. So one thing, guys, with reading the tape, and remember this, when you near a key level where there was big sellers, if you don't see huge volume, that means they probably took their order off and just let stock through. So they can do that because they don't care to sell anymore and it's going to go higher, or they do that to let you through to trap it. So again, I really like to spot those sellers and then spot volume. So this is not nearly enough volume to wipe what was on that tape. So we'll just keep watching here. Another way you can also confirm is by scrolling through time of sales as well. But we're just going to go with the volume trick for now. All right, slow start here, team, but long week. That's all that matters. I got Roku on another screen here. It's starting to look pretty good. We'll size that one up here in a minute. I want to stay focused on what we have. So Snow team kind of not giving me an entry here. Would have liked a little pullback and hold. So we'll keep watching this one, but popping that inflection point, those options are off to the absolute races. Wow, great turnaround for the market here, guys. Yeah, Roku rocketing. A lot happens, guys, so stay focused. And yep, always this week expiration AT. And Jim, I start with limit orders. So see, guys, if we get a little retest here, this trend line on NVIDIA, it might be a nice little base that we could play. We'll see what happens here at VWAP in the 50. Still want to be cautious overall. We're below 1 minute clouds, but you can get those good dip buys back up. So really like Snow team, just needed a good entry here. Don't want to chase this one. Those options exploded really fast. Almost a double off that low on the 220 calls. Yeah, strong dragon NQ right back. And remember, team, ADD, as long as it's going higher, when we're negative, we're seeing upside rotation. Hope that makes sense. Snow, come back. So Snow guys kind of run away here, but I'm watching a video. If we get a little retest of this trend line, maybe turn around and go. Something like that. And man, Snow, too quick. Crap. That's what sucks sometimes, team. Sometimes they happen really fast and you just get left in the dust. Oh man, this was a great trade. Jeez. Ay, ay, ay. Snow got away from us, team. Happens. First strike I'll be watching in a video is the 580s here. Nice picture, though. Yeah, this is a nice, beautiful chart here, guys. Just a little too quick. Or maybe I'm just a little too slow. So not a bad start here, guys. We got a little blood, little pop. Let's pay attention to what happens from here. Still just kind of flipping around. And wow, Amazon also just made the move in seconds team. Already to our key zone. That one had the look, that's for sure. I just don't really want to pay these premiums, guys. They went to 30 bucks very fast. So we're going to stick with NVIDIA and Snow here. Roku looks like a decent third, but we're just running out of space. Ay, 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 Snowflake. If you guys caught that, awesome stuff. Options about, 2 to 5 there. Nice zone to zone. So good team, just patience here. Unfortunately missed one of the planned trades, so I'm not going to go trade crap because I missed a planned trade, but and yeah, Richard, thank you. And again, guys, just realize why it happened. Again, we want to hit these, but the why is equally as important. Watching 580 strikes on NVIDIA team. I'm in no rush here though. The market's looking a bit weird. Up fast, down fast. Be quick. Arnie grabbed it right through cloud, up 80%. Nice. Yeah, guys, just sometimes got to be quick. If you're quicker than me, great. I like NVIDIA here too, but I don't like this cloud right ahead of it. I did with like a better risk reward entry. Lorna, what do you mean when I create a limit order? So guys, I don't have active trader up right now, but remember, if I just switch this to active trader, it's already set on a limit order. So anytime you click it, it's just gonna, initiate a limit order. I don't know if that answers you, Lorna. Yeah, market is tough. More so want to help you guys. Lorna, you would want to limit when it's heading away from your strike to get the best price, right? So let me just change this, guys, to an active trader real quick. So remember, team, just let me load in the NVIDIA 580s. Right, guys, so it's gonna look something like, this, where when we go to enter, you want to just click buy and place your, limit order somewhere, in between the bid and the ask. Usually you want to try to go where the last person got filled, which is this highlighted area. So that's truly how it looks like, guys, is just clicking and placing the limit order. And, it's hard to give an exact rule because it depends how fast it's moving, depends when you're looking for an entry, et cetera, et cetera. And the reason, guys, why I don't have these active traders up is they actually slow down my Thinkorswim right now. If you have too many pop-out windows, it messes things up. Give me 1 second. This is a nice little pullback, guys, for snow, but I don't necessarily trust it after that. And nice pop for Nvidia. I don't fully trust Nvidia here, guys. The premiums aren't going to be worth it. That's the thing about Monday. Some trades aren't technically worth it. So I'm going to be a little more patient on Nvidia and let it start to prove itself to the upside. I'm going to start to look at other snow contracts. Yeah, 220s are the way to go. Let's see. Decent bullish flow to start here, guys. A little Tesla accumulation, some Amazon accumulation, and obviously, you know, tech starting to rally back here. So notice, guys, YM dropped and tech popped. That's what I mean by how long does rotation last? You know, do they sell YM and not buy tech? Do they sell YM and buy NQ like they're doing? And again, guys, you want to ask yourselves, how long does that last? Where it might last 5 minutes and then everyone drops. Let's see. So you guys calling a few things out. Yeah, Tesla, in my opinion, is in the middle of nowhere. Needs 606 or 560. In AFD, yeah, I see Roku. But yep, Gene, that's why exactly I didn't want to take this breakout, guys, is we have that cloud right there. And again, it's Monday, team. Premiums are just not going to move like they would on Friday. Snow guys completing the zone here. So nice little pop, holds that 8, and then completes the journey again. Nice move here. So unfortunately, I didn't have a good entry. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to take off my sweatshirt. All right. Yeah, Surf City, Amazon, right it open, just boom, zone to zone. Sometimes, unfortunately, it can happen that fast where you don't even get to trade it unless you buy it right open. So snow here, guys. Definitely missed a good trade. I'm trying to remember why I missed this. I think I was trying to pull up freaking tape and missed it. So that's just my bad. AT, if using Wells Fargo's to trade on the interface that has an action drop-down box, should I choose buy call to open or buy call to close? If you're getting in a trade, my friend, I would presume buy call to open, but just make sure you're familiar with your platform before truly putting any money on the line. All right, guys, we got a weird market here. ES giving it all back. Look at SPX just kind of grinding within here. Thank you, Rainbow. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that. A little clouded, but life goes on. Let's see what happens, team. Can NVIDIA kind of hold this uptrend, shift to that cloud? We had big support this morning. Now it's starting to get a little bit weak. Man, snow. Goodbye. Airbnb. I know we had that one up, and oh, geez. Yeah, you guys can just take Airbnb off your radar. Massive, massive fail. No point watching it. If and when they break that cloud, we'll be good to go, but they got a long time now before they break that cloud to shift. Would I try snow on a pullback? Yes, but not to here, guys. It would need to pull back. It would need to base. It kind of made the move we were looking for. So when it happens that quick, you never want to buy little dips. You want to, let it pull back and, set up again. So we'll keep that one. We'll play that one by ear. But yeah, volatile market team. We were rolling right back over. So let's take a peek at ADD and notice how it never technically went positive. That's a big thing I want to note for this session, guys, is, we saw the rotation, but then it never went positive, and now we're just quickly back to selling. Same time, tick never really reached its, bullish upside levels where we'd see, big upside ticks. So right back down we go. Learner. So ADD, guys, is the advanced decline line. It's kind of showing you what's happening if every stock in the market is generally advancing or declining. And so again, we're under 0. That means every name is declining. So you can have these little pops, but if they don't go positive, that means the pop is just, a drop here. So we'll keep talking about that one. YM quickly back down. Jeez. For why not put on NVIDIA with SPY dropping and NVIDIA reject the cloud and VWAP? Yeah, you could, my friend. Again, guys, just crap happens fast in this game. I'm not going to catch everything. If you see it, you want to take it, feel free. If you see it, you want me to talk about it just so you can internalize it, also feel free. But again, guys, I am not going to be able to see everything, catch everything by any means. Doesn't mean it's not wrong. So we got this drop, guys, this morning. We migrated all night down towards the point of control. We got a little pop here, then we are quickly reversing it. So very curious what happens here at point of control. And then we'll slowly start to eye some SPX puts. I'd be careful on Snow Team. Market looks like it's about to roll over and implode. So just be careful buying these secondary trades. But for Snow, I'd watch what it does at 210-ish. Tom, we'll have to look where the money's going. Right now, it's going to cash. There's probably a little rotation somewhere, but yeah, as of right now, we're selling off your team. So I'm gonna start to study SPX on the side. Nice, Wall Steve, good stuff. Up about 80, 70%, man. Smooth. See, those 4110s aren't bad, actually. 4110 puts, guys. Just looking at a few put options here. What I would like to see to play puts is a pop back towards 1 minute cloud and then fade. So yeah, 4120 is not bad. 4110 is not bad either. Hey, Mike, good stuff. Yeah, guys, if you hit snow, get your piece here. Don't look to buy little dips. This market's not looking the best currently. Roku pop near our key level, back to point of control. And then you guys pretty much see everything else I'm looking at here. A lot of patience here, my friends. Dave, for if you're looking to play SPY, I would do same day expiration as well. Much like SPX, they also have the 3 days. Mario, do I have any special rules for trading 1-minute futures with this technique? I love NQ and its movement, and looks like you can scalp really fast with this system. Yeah, for sure, Mario. Just the only thing I'd say if you're trading futures is respect your technicals and stops a lot. Be tight, wait for precision entries, but yeah, this is a great strategy on futures, which I'm actually looking into. So a bit of a weird morning here, team. Again, want to really stress patience, see if we can get a trade. Missed a few, so no rush. So let's see what happens here, guys, in this pop. Do we stuff this 5-minute cloud? Can we get in that 1-minute cloud for the first time today? Do we just chop around? I'm waiting to find out. Really bummed to miss snow here, but again, team, if you miss the great trade, don't get obsessed with, trying to buy every little dip. It already kind of did what we had planned. So if you hit it, great. If you didn't, make sure you do your job of not forcing, secondary entries. Zoom is zooming, huh? Yeah, we'll look through a few other names, guys, in a little bit here, but want to stay to my focus list for now. Adam, snow cloud bounce. If we get there, we'll pay attention to this level here, team. Bill, 35% snow, nice. CCYM is pretty much just the Dow Jones futures, and the very basic way I like to look at it is it pretty much holds everything but tech. So NQ is pretty much our representation of technology, etc. ES is the overall market itself, so it's got a little bit of everything, and then YM is kind of everything else, just to keep it basic. So if they're buying YM, that means they're buying something like finance, industrials, energy, just different sectors other than technology itself. So between the big three, ES, YM, and NQ, you really get a sense of where money's going. Mario, I'm sim trading now, up 880. Nice, my friend. Just scalping the cloud breaks. Going the past looks like 5-minute cloud breaks are solid. Yeah, guys, 1-minute and 5-minute are by far the best intraday clouds. NQ stuffs theirs. NVIDIA pops, hits theirs, and bleeds. Whatever it might be, a lot of usages. Let's watch snow here, guys, at 210. Again, I hate to take a secondary trade and lose without hitting the first, but we'll see. Pay attention, guys, if we can't pop back through this 5-minute cloud, could get another flush here in the market. Waiting for a better entry on SPX. So here's snow trying at our 210. Not saying this will happen, guys, but ideally, if snow can just kind of sit here till that cloud and then start to ramp off of it, that'd be a really decent secondary entry. But again, market's not looking good here. Take a look at internals, guys. We're starting to, stay in that bloody zone. Again, ADD, everything is kind of declining currently. All about point of control here, team. Let's be very careful and cautious in your point of control. It's going to give us a good pop, a good drop, or a really good chop. So again, no rush on Snow, team. It's probably over. It's up 2 big days, reverted to the mean. That was really all I was asking it to do. Emmanuel, looking at 4110 puts. Yeah, 4110, 4115, 4120, anything that range, whatever you guys prefer. But 4110s are solid. They'll all move nicely. I would really like a pop to put these 4110s on. I don't know if we'll get it, but and Q just breaking down here, team. It's gonna drag everybody. Nice, Sandy. 2.9 to 4.4 on Snow. Congrats. And we'll break that Snow one down, guys. I want to talk about the zones we had, et cetera, et cetera. See what happens here, team. We're right on point of control. Nice, Wall Steve. 90% SPX. Love it. We'll see, guys. Wow, a lot of names giving up that morning pop. Roku headed for lows, NVIDIA low a day, Snow giving it all back. YM gave it all back. Tesla giving it all back. Let's see, even Amazon's pulling back. Not giving it all back, but it's inevitable. We'll keep watching Snow, guys. If there is one name to consider playing to the upside today, if the market turns, it would definitely be Snow, just because, it did have a strong pop hit this morning. Jam, on the 1 minute, 5 minute charts, are they 2 days, 5 days, etc.? Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter, JM. That's just going to show you, how many days back you want to look at. I recommend just to have it easy on your eyes, limit the days so you don't have to scroll through, a ton of days to get where you currently are trading. So in the 1 minute, I just showed 2 days back. So we'll keep watching Snow here, guys. If we can start to get back above the 8, start to base on that cloud, if markings start to pop, there might be another really good dip buy here. We'll keep an eye on it. Might be worth a gander. Michael, when you look at the chart of the option itself, is the main reason to find the expected move in the option premium, or is there something else you look for when comparing different charts? So Michael, I like to, if you're referring to expected move of what we talked about on Monday, where Snow was at 6 at the HOD. If we get it here and it goes back to HOD, we can double our money. Yes, that's one way I look at it. But the second reason I look at the charts, guys, is option charts will often move like real charts. So you can see the same pattern, you can see volume increases, et cetera, et cetera. So those are kind of 2 main reasons why I personally look at option charts as well. So we're getting our first little pop here, guys. We'd like a little retest of this cloud, and then, off to the races. Market's holding point of control. As long as it holds point of control, like we talked about, we're just still stuck in one zone. If and when we end up breaking this zone, we start our next possible journey. Meanwhile, guys, watch SPX here. Just struggling at that 21 EMA. Through it, should test that cloud, and then we see. So again, team, I know I haven't done too much training on internals, so I'm trying to focus a little bit here. But while we, do continue to focus, I do want to continue to talk about this. So remember, ADD is kind of showing you if everything is advancing or declining at once. So, when we pop here this morning, that means something is advancing. The reason we watch a board is we want to see what that something is. While this pop happened here, guys, NQ was going down while YM was going up. That's what causes it to go up. And then finally, if you go back and look, they all start to roll over. And that's when ADD just continues its journey lower. And now it's starting to base here and pop. So it's showing you guys kind of what the overall market is doing, where if and when we trade below this 899, that means most likely the entire market will be selling off. Vice versa. If we keep rallying back up here, they're buying something, and something is keeping this market afloat. And now it's our job to go find it. So this is kind of a peek, guys, under the hood of the market of what's happening. So this is kind of its path, and then this is kind of its gas pedal. We have an above extreme bullish zone. So anytime we trade in this zone, we're pushing really hard to the upside. Vice versa here, guys, you can see, we sold off pretty hard because we're just ticking that bloody zone. So we'll keep talking with these guys, but I hope that makes a little bit of sense. All right, team, we got snow here at the 1 minute cloud. We got a little secondary leg forming. We got a key level. This could be a nice little entry if the market starts to support us. So keep an eye on this one, team. This could be a nice little secondary scalp to attempt. If you made money, play with profits. If you didn't, just, normal size here. And again, guys, I'll still be watching the 220 calls. I will scream if I get in them and if I get filled and at what price. But just watch this little inflection here. We can rest back below this cloud in that 210 and, look to get back to high a day here. Let's just keep a close eye on this one. Again, it's going to get dragged with the market, so we want to try to time this if we can. Just stalling at that 50-cent mark. No bids, no asks, kind of just stuck here. Let's keep watching, team. Can we get a little volume spike? I like this one. That's why patience can pay. If we can just get in that cloud, start to ramp, we could get another good trade here, team. Now, again, these secondary trades aren't my favorite, but I did miss the first, so probably going to try the second. Market's still going lower, not ideal, but snow's starting to shape up here. All right, guys, gonna take a shot here at snow. Let's see. I got filled at 410, 410, 410, 4.1 on the 220 calls, 410. Risking guys back below this cloud here. Got to keep this one very tight. Remember, this is secondary trade, so not A+. But we do have some inflection points lining up, so we'll see. Let's go Snow, make up your mind, baby. And again, guys, keep an eye on the market here, but catching a nice pop in Snow right where it should. Let's see if we can get that move going. So again, guys, in at 410. Oh, and I forgot to post this. Sorry, guys, I'm still slow as molasses with these alerts. So please listen to me above waiting for the alert itself. But up about 30 cents, 40 cents. We need to break here, though, and we need the market to hold. So keep this one tight, guys. We got a little seller here at 214, right, our key level. Can we get the market to hold? We got a nice little entry here, guys. Regardless of what happens, we got a really good entry. Up about 50 cents. Market starting to hold. So we got a really good entry here, team. NVIDIA starting to hold. Just showing us overall market strength. Let's see if we get a pop through here and look to sell towards a little push towards high a day. Remember, we won't get greedy on these secondary entries, but up about 12%, 50 cents a contract. Let's keep watching the tape here, team. Got to get through this 214-ish. Not really seeing anything on the tape to stop it currently, but it's being stopped. There we go, team. We need some bidders here at 30 cents. Get us that key level. Get us through 30 cents. Options up about 60 cents here, guys. Nice. Here we go. Maybe scale out in this pop, guys. Get ready to scale out here. Nice. All right. I locked that one in, team, at that's my fill there. At 5. Out at 5. Out at 5. Out at 5. So there we go, team. Nice little trade. Not bad. I missed the real one, but nice little second one here. And the reason, guys, for the early lock is you just, again, you want to be very careful on secondary trades. You know, so you get a nice pop, you get nice momentum, and you go right back to where you failed. Keep it tight. Right? It's not like our first entry where we got destroyed here last time. So wait for a pivot point. Boom. Nice. Again, that's 90 cents a contract. That's solid. That's solid. So yeah, guys, out of that trade. Chris went to the bathroom. I got a new invention, brother. It's trading diapers. Seems we all need it. If you're not trading with your diaper on, man, you can't be a scalper. And yeah, guys, we have a break eventually. And again, you're going to miss a billion moves in your life that aren't going to upset you. So don't be upset if you miss one because you had to go to the bathroom. There'll be another one. But yeah, guys, nice little trade there on Snow. And again, this is why, team, you want to be very quick on these secondary trades because am I making sense, guys, by secondary trade? Let me know because I really want to explain this because this is something that has changed the game for me where I'd get too aggressive on secondary trades and dig myself a damn hole where it's like, do yourself a favor and crush the first trade. And then, yes, Rainbow, exactly. The conviction on the second one, guys, is not nearly as strong. But the system, if we can be patient, get good entries, respect it, we can still look to scalp here, team. Remember, scalping can be 2 candles, which is kind of exactly what we did. So just to elaborate a little more here, team, when we open the day, we have our map. So on snow, like we talked about, guys, our final map here, not our final map, but we were looking to get to this key zone. So when something opens, guys, and just, breaks that cloud, absolutely rips, gives you an amazing trade, that's called A plus, right? That's what we technically prepped for. Now, again, things are going to go up and down all day. So there's always going to be little secondary entries, little good dip buys, little scalps. You just want to remember, team, those secondary entries, the edge is not truly in your favor as much as the first trade because we've already gone through those key levels. We've already, tested them, etc. Where when your map is first clean, it looks like this, where we just boom, boom, boom. But again, the most important thing guys about day trade is collecting information. So we had our key zone, and then there was massive sellers there. So again, you don't want to just buy the dip. You want to wait. We waited for it to pop. We waited for it to, kind of grind our cloud, a little pattern recognition, and then boom, just a little trade here, team. So again, the meat of the move was playing these lows up to here. Can you still take these little guys? Of course. Just kind of size down, guys, and just understand it's a different trade. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah, Dave. So I bought Snow, guys, 220 calls as planned at 10:10 a.m. So right on this little pop here. Let me zoom this chart in, guys, so we can just see it. So again, a little Butch, how do I sell my Snow trade? Guys, just a friendly piece of advice. If you're not 100% confident of executing your platform, make sure you don't, take real trades of real money because you don't want to be stuck in them. But Butch, if you're on Thinkorswim, go to your positions, or if you're an active trader, let me know what you're on, my friend. I'll help you answer that. But I would just try to find that order and close it out real quick. But again, for Snow here, team. So we missed the big one. Well, I missed the big one. Some of you crushed it. So again, when you miss a good setup, guys. Okay, Butch, on Active Trader, my friend, you simply just want to click on the right side, and you'll see, it hover where it says sell limit. So you could drop it right now at 4.8 to sell your contract. You might get lucky here, Butch, and get a little pop to get out, but Butch, it says sell market. Butch, make sure you're on the option itself. But what I would do, my friend, is I would just go into monitor, find the position itself, right click and close it. SPX. So let's see, guys. And then I want to talk about Snow real quick here. So yeah, we are getting that first SPX cloud fade. Do I want to short it right away? No, absolutely not, team. Every indicator are just places to get ready. So this is exactly why zones, guys, are so important. Never short, at the bottom of a zone. Let it prove itself. So like we talked about, careful point of control. What do we get off point of control? A huge pop. So again, team, trading is about context. Trading is about collecting information. We popped hard off of point of control. Therefore, I'm not in a rush to short this SPX cloud. Now, if we start to top out here and, things start to look weak, then yeah, absolutely. But it's always, guys, if this, then that. Not, oh, we hit cloud by puts. Hope that makes sense. But bear with me, team. I'm going to take a quick 30-second break. I'll be right back. All right, my bad, guys. I apologize. Much like most of us, I forgot my trading diaper today. Anyways, team. All right, so again, guys, let's talk about the snow trade real quick, and then we'll move on. But this is what I mean by secondary entries, right? We had a great trade. However, there's always going to be a secondary opportunity. You know, there's opportunities all day. We just want to make sure as traders that we grade them. You know, so the trades that we plan for and prep for, that's our A plus, guys, right? You know, can snow hold blank and push to blank? You know, that was our trade. But as you learn the system and you learn how to be a true scalper, you can take these little trades, guys, where like snow, big pop to zone. Great. Much expected. Sells off at the market. Market's weak. Market's weak. Market hits point of control and starts to bottom. So now we're getting ready. We want to focus again, team, on inflection points. So one of the bigger inflection points I'm trying to drive into, you guys, is intraday wedges lined up with the indicators that we've learned. So just to zoom up real quick here. So again, team, start to focus on little wedges and these indicators to give you that little inflection point, you know, that point where it's probably going to pop, just like it did, or it almost has to make up its mind. So one thing, let's just start clear here. First thing I'd like to do, guys, is start to recognize when we start to turn around and make higher lows, right? So we drop here, we don't really go anywhere, then we flush, and then we pop. Never chase the first pop, team. It's always usually going to give you a retest here and start to create what's called higher lows, right? So the lows are going higher, which give you an upside ramp. Vice versa, team. We want to focus on, is there a little downside, you know, wedge that we can watch? So I like to go from HOD, just find something like we were focusing on right here. We have a little inflection. So again, we want to try to time it with getting near that cloud. I like to play at that cloud so I have something to risk against. So for this little trade, guys, right, as you might have heard me say, we're going to risk back through this cloud, looking to play back up to this zone. So I got my entry here, guys, at 10.10, right? As soon as we kind of just drifted out of there, got that tight risk reward, bought those contracts at 4.1, and then they moved quickly. Right, we hold the cloud here, team. We hold the wedge. We pop, we rip through our zone, and that's where I locked at 10.13. So on this candle at right at 5. So about 90 cents here, guys, in just, you know, a few candles. Is it a huge trade? Not bad. This was the huge trade, team, right? This is where you'll double your money. Right here, you can still carve out money. It's just important to really recognize, you know, is this an A plus trade? Is this a secondary trade, etc.? And to wrap up this lesson, guys, the reason it's so important is because you just want to mentally approach them a little bit different. You know, if you hit this trade, guys, play with profits on any other little trade. You know, don't size into it again. Because remember from the class, team, our two jobs are to take good trades and to manage your risk. So if you end up taking trades that aren't good, you're not doing your job. So make sure you always try to balance those two things together. DPS, were you waiting to get out of your wedge before entering? Why didn't you enter when it touched the cloud a minute before your entry? So I got in right here, my friend, where it kind of popped out of that cloud, and then it gave us a little pullback. So I got in risking that, you know, wedge and cloud. You know, it just went a little lower than popped. So again, guys, it's a game of inches. You could have entered here. You could have entered here. Doesn't really matter. But as long as we waited, a little inflection point, we can size up risk reward. That's why I took that trade right there. And I also didn't want to miss another one. All right, guys. Hope this morning session is making sense. Hope everyone's learning something. Hopefully making a little money. Let me look at some of these questions, team. JM, you missed the first long on snow. Then when it got rejected at the top of the zone with volume, would you consider a put also? So here's a nice lesson, guys. A good conversation. is generally, like I've shared with you, I try to have an overall, again, I hate this word, bias. I try to have an overall compass of which direction I would generally like to play the name. So for Snow today, guys, they've been absolutely beat up for months. And now we're starting to go higher. So again, my overall sentiment is trying to play this thing to the upside. And so there's two ways, guys, to consider this. One is, yes, you can simply just scalp like a madman at inflection points. So, hits your zone, you see huge sellers, you buy puts, you play down from zone to zone. You can do that, team. Or you could do what I did. Let it go lower, let it set up, and then play it back up. So those are really the two things to consider, team, where one is usually you want some type of bias, just, an overall thesis is the better word. But then again, you also want to remember that levels are levels and you can play off of levels in either direction. Just be careful, team, if you short a strong stock because it might pull back for 3 candles and then rip your face off. Where it's like you should have just waited for the pullback and then bought calls. So I hope that helps, JM. So when I missed this was a great bullish move. I wasn't just going to be like, all right, I'm going to short it now because I missed it. What I'm happy I did was wait, base, and get a little piece of it. So that's always, guys, the battle that you'll have to kind of mentally play. But general rule of thumb is if you do play at key levels, guys, yeah, you can short it, right? You can short NVIDIA at this cloud, risking right back above it. Boom. Sell it zone. You could buy the zone, sell it here, and you can start to buy puts. Again, I would just be a little bit careful going in and out in both directions on a stock because it can start to get a bit messy. Steve, do I watch, what time frame do I watch ADD and tick? I use 1 minute for both, my friend. Right, they're internal, so at least for me, I want to see what's happening every tick. Jim, I keep coming back to the realization that I can't watch a bunch of stuff at once, so maybe 1 or 2 at the most until I get fluent with charts and indicators. Yep, absolutely, Jim. And remember, guys, if you watch 1 or 2 names, there'll be opportunity left and right. So, if you just literally wanted to watch Snow today, you're good to go. You buy the calls through the cloud, you sell. You can even, short it back down through VWAP. You see it hold, you play calls. So yeah, Jim, I really would recommend guys finding, 1 or 2, 3 names that you're really comfortable with. You're comfortable with the option premium. Right, guys, don't watch Amazon if you're not going to put 3,000 at least into each trade. You won't be able to play it. So don't have it up. But if you watch a name like, NVIDIA, where you're comfortable, you're ready to go and trade both sides, that's how, guys, you'll start to internalize the system. And God damn it, missed a cloud fade. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, well. Trying to wear a few hats here, team. But yeah, that is exactly what it should look like, guys. So as I mentioned in the class, and I love teaching things live because, oh, Chan, you can say, it fades at the cloud, but until you actually see it, guys, it's really magical. Where it's like we don't get the cloud, we hit point of control, so we pop. When we pop, we reach 1 minute cloud. If we don't break that, guys, it's usually going to fade pretty nicely. And wow, there it was. And just to motivate you guys on that fade, you could have got those 41.10s at about 80 cents, and they went right to $2. Quick double. But yeah, I definitely missed that one. But yeah, Jim, I hope that advice helps. Where really, I've came to the epiphany over my career where I rather trade one name, guys, than try to watch 5 and not even catch them. Because with this type of style, Roku pops, oh, Tesla pops, oh, NVIDIA pops. Screw it. Nvidia. Like, just pick one. That's truly my best advice. And another quick lesson here, team. This is why you want to get out of secondary trades faster than the real trades, is because after a huge pop, guys, it doesn't mean it's just gonna, rip again. It has a long day ahead of it. So again, we can get little entries, but if you sit through this, guys, technically you're still green on the trade, but there's no point to sit through this. Butch, did you ever get out, my friend? I saw your comment here. And yet, do not sell 100 contracts. Sonar, is the A-way TP put a zone on the SPX? You'll have to reword that question, my man. I apologize. Yeah, Jim, I know we're watching quite a few. And as you can see, man, even for myself, I got Roku up, I got, NVIDIA up, and just too much crap happens. So really zone in until the one you just truly like and are comfortable with. But all right, guys, need a little more focus here. Missed a really good opportunity, but we did hit a good opportunity, so. All right, let's get Butch out of this trade. So let's see, my friend, if you're on active trader, let's do this really quick. I'll try to save you some damage here. All right, so I'm assuming you trade Snow with me, so we have the 220 calls loaded up in Snow. So you want to make sure, my friend, that it says Snow 220 call in here. Right now, look at your net position. So if that says 1 or whatever size you're at, make sure you change this quantity to it. So we're just going to assume it's 1. What you want to do, my friend, is just scroll over here and click Sell Limit. Right. So right now, you can get filled at this 440 probably with ease. So let me know, Butch. We got a fallen soldier. We'll help him out real quick, guys, and then we'll get back to charts here. But I don't want to leave someone hanging like that. And remember, guys, this is with just complete utmost respect. Do not put money to work, guys. If you don't know your platform, you don't know the buttons, etc. It's just asking for it. It's like going up to the biggest bully and just smacking him in the back of the head. It's like if he turns around and kicks your ass, then. But yeah, but just as simple as that, my friend. So again, just watch your position here, and just make sure it says Sell Limit. Give me a holler when you're out. But hopefully that helps. And remember, guys, for this live class, I know we're here to make money, all that fun crap, and it seems like we are, but just make sure, guys, you spend most of this time together learning, right? Learning, not being in a rush to click, et cetera, et cetera. Because as you can see, guys, these things happen all day, every day. Like, I'm not really upset about missing this. There'll be a million other trades this week. Yeah, JD, definitely learn first. But all right, but just give me a holler if you're out, brother. I'll keep moving here. Yeah, right, Chris. Adrenaline and learning can kind of make things hard. Tom, I'm really intrigued by potentially using the charting system on ES and micros just to focus on one aspect first, reading the chart. Does that make any sense? Yeah, Tom, for sure. If you want to just focus on looking at ES, looking at its levels and truly understanding how and why to mark up charts, for sure. Because the logic, guys, is the same. So if you take one of my charts, such as an ES chart, and you just truly try to internalize the map, it'll help you build maps everywhere else. Let's see, what was Danny's question on VWAP? Might have missed that one. Oh, there it is, Danny. Do you prefer VWAP to be out of the cloud also? Danny, I actually can't say that's something I've correlated before, and I'm actually glad you bring it up. Because it's actually interesting when they do line up together here, such as like, let me just hide this a bit. We got VWAP here, it's Snow Cloud, and also kind of right in the middle of NVIDIA Cloud. So my answer is no. I guess I wouldn't mind. Would just say if they are together, it's all multiple confluence. Like if NVIDIA were to pop for this 1 minute cloud and VWAP, it's probably a better move where, VWAP's up here, it becomes a target. So that's my real answer, but definitely something I'll start to observe a little more, actually. That'd be interesting. So Snow Guy's kind of just flagging here, trying to get out. Ron, what does Ad and Tick say? Honestly, guys, it's telling us chop right now. We're going from huge extremes. Oh, and a really good lesson here on Tick. So Tick, guys, -1,000 can be used in two ways. One is it starts a really big bloodbath, or two is it's almost downside exhaustion. So when you get, a huge tick here at 1029. So where's our 1029 candle? 1029. Right, he gave us one more flush, but then we just quickly ripped to the other side. So that actually almost calls the bottom, where it can stay here. We absolutely continue to bleed. Where if it hits 1,000 and then pops strong the other way, that's often, guys, a reversal, as you're seeing right here. So yeah, market overall, guys, very choppy, but a lot of good lessons. Bill, for learning zones, better would be just rewatch the videos. Yeah, right, guys, go watch that video I made. Watch it 100,000 times. I do have a ton of emails from you guys that I promise I'll be getting back to. And I've seen some charts that you guys have sent me. So just practice, team. Internalize the concept, practice, and I promise it'll click. Just keep it simple. Michael, great question. Can you explain why ADD was not helpful on Friday because there's a certain range? When do you pay attention to ADD and when is it not helpful? Awesome question, man. So ADD, guys, you want to think of it like this, 0 and plus 2,000 and -2,000 are really good compasses, right? So we're kind of, below 0 here. So everything's kind of declining. But as you can see, we're not really going much lower. So we're just kind of popping. So I like EDD today. If it starts to rally through 0, a market's going to reverse here strong. Vice versa, if it rolls back down and breaks low a day, we can actually continue to sell off. The problem with Friday, guys, is it just sat in such an extreme zone all day that it doesn't really tell you much. Because again, it's just too high. ADD stops going higher at some point. It's not just going to go to 5,000, for example, because there's a combination of all the names advancing and declining. So when they're at healthier levels, meaning not at 2,000 above or below, that's when we can actually get a good sense of what's going on. And that's when you actually see, movements and waves, where on Friday, it literally just kind of migrated sideways because everything was ripping. So I hope that makes sense. It's just harder to read when it reaches certain levels because it won't move as much. Where again, if this market's going to rally strong here today, we're going to explode through 0 and keep rallying. Where if we were already at 2,000, it's really best used for the downside because upside is just a little hard to read. Hope that makes sense. Hey, Butch got out with 58 bucks. There we go, my friend. Awesome. So yeah, Butch, just take a deep breath, brother. I'm sorry you had to go through that. It's probably the worst feeling in trading. Quick story for you guys. The first trade I ever took, I had no clue how to get out. I had to call Big Brother Taylor. I was like, man, what do I do? Don't yell at me. I know I should have prepped better, but glad you got out, Butch. And again, man, deep breath. Make sure you just learn your system. Watch that active trader video again, and just start to internalize everything. But congrats on getting out alive and hopefully learning a lifelong lesson. And yeah, Vinny, got to take care of the people. All right, NVIDIA, really nice reversal. Oh, and Fish, I actually just did it. So if you look here, my friend, at the bottom of your drawing tools, or, up here if you like, I like to go down here. You just want to grab that little hand. And that's what allows you to drag and pan around, where if you're on the the pointer, you can only, you know, click and drag like that. So I like to use a little dragger more intraday. And give me a minute, guys. I got a little lag here. I'm gonna have to close some windows. I just don't know which one to close. Never mind. Keep pushing. Artful Trader. So if SPX breaks above the cloud, at what point is it a trade? I would just try to time it, my friend. So if we look, we got things setting up nicely. If NQ can break its 5-minute cloud, if ES can break its 5-minute cloud, and if, you know, SPX can clear here and hold that resistance, you could have a nice upside trade. The only thing I don't like about today is we're just kind of chopping in between a range. So it becomes, you know, a little hard to get through all these levels. So I'd actually just be a bit patient, observe it for now. You know, if the 8 can catch up and it can break it, hold those moving averages and get a nice little ramp, then it becomes an upside trade. For now, it's, you know, still rejecting it. And this is why I love the cloud so much, guys, is, you know, this level wasn't here, but it got created intraday. So it gave us that projection and boom. Cloud is scary, scary powerful. AFD, can you talk about the reversal taking place on NVIDIA? Absolutely. So, so if you look this morning, guys, you know, we gapped down, you know, we tested that 50, stuffed that cloud, and then broke that 50. We started to uptrend here. We hit that cloud. So again, we were continuing to trend lower and continuing to trend higher and eventually broke that. We fell down to our key zone. Zones, guys, aren't always going to work to the cent. So, you know, give it a little time to find its feet, start to recognize higher lows, go zone to zone, pulls back, holds this cloud. It's a really nice cloud hold. And now it's back out of it and hopefully holding its zone. So overall, just kind of a beautiful little chop fest here for NVIDIA. But this is why everyone signed up for the class, is within this little chop, guys, look at all these little beautiful trades, right? It's literally pretty much flat on the day, but when you kind of know what's happening, the ebbs and flows, that's when there's a lot of, you know, beautiful trades. So again, I think, you know, the higher lows team are something to really focus on. You know, just zones. If it holds here, it can go back to here. Once it ends there, trade's over. Okay, fell, held that uptrend, held that cloud. There's a little another trade. Kind of all over the place. Dale, is there a fade on SPX? Yes and no. I mean, I'd fade these clouds, but again, guys, we're just kind of chopping here. So be careful forcing trades. CC, isn't ADD the same as SPX? No, my friend. Can complete opposite. You know, SPX is, you know, the Standard & Poor's 500 index. ADD is literally just an internal showing you if things are advancing or declining as a whole. So yes, they do move together, but not always, because there are other things in the market that can go up that aren't going to move SPX up. So that's why I do like to watch ADD, because it really helps you get a sense of rotation, which I'll break that lesson down later again today. Becky, your brother did the same to you. Jim, 4190 calls very strong, trying to figure out why. Let me look. And not much to do right now, team trade-wise. I think we had a lot of good trades this morning, so gonna be a bit patient here, so I'll just keep taking questions. And thank you, Carlos. Just saw your comment. Got to take care of the team, always. So, Jim, the 4190 calls. So great question, my friend. Keep in mind, guys, with volume on an option chain, is it can often also be people selling the strike, meaning they don't think it's going to go higher. So that's often why, Jim, you know, there could be some random strikes that have huge volume. It's like, why? Well, it's because, you know, big money is just selling the crap out of those at 5, 10 cents. They know it's not going to go higher, etc. Rain Man, quick 3.3 to 4.7 on SPX. Let's go, guys. Good stuff. Brent 2-3 to 3-6, quick. I love it. You guys are becoming amazing scalpers. This was a dream come true. Just build a little army of them. Let's see, guys. So great questions. I appreciate it. I'll keep answering here because I don't really see much setting up currently. Chan, would you consider playing both sides of a high probability trade, buying both calls and puts at entry? If we bought Snow 220s at 1.7 much earlier, simultaneously bought the same like Snow puts, would you be able to catch most long profit minus the cost of the put hedge? Yes, and that's actually a strategy that I do. It's just not a true scalping strategy. But yes, that's actually a phenomenal way to trade. The only thing where that can bite you is if it just chops. So like you said, a high probability trade, if we have a really good setup, of one or two things happening, yeah, I will plant risk on both sides. I often do that with SPX, where if it looks like, we pop hard today or drop hard today, I'll buy puts at $1, calls at $1. One of them's going to go to zero, but one of them's going to pay for it and all. Or again, they both go to zero. So that's more of a day trading strategy of mine where I kind of plant risk and let it do its thing, as opposed to a true scalping, which is what we're trying to focus on here. But to answer your question, yeah, I do actually enjoy that strategy. Just gotta be very picky. Mozzie, do I like SPX better than SPY? Mozzie. Yes, much better. And the simple reason just being because of the premium movement. SPY, you can still catch really good gains, like percent wise. You just have to allocate a lot more capital because they're, very cheap. Where I rather, train SPX at a 1, and it goes to, 2, 3, 4, 5 if it works. Just very basic math. Cole, super clumsy in and out, but I made 114 bucks. There you go, Cole. Mike, how many trades per day do you take on average? At any point at which you just quit for the day? Yeah, Mike, actually. Most of the time, guys, I probably take, I'll say 2 to 3 trades a day. Because again, I really focus on not taking little trades. Just the longer I've been scalping, the longer I've been day trading, I just try to hit those bigger picture setups. So again, like Snow, guys, we made money on it, but it's just done nothing. So when you try to make money on these little setups, guys, 9 out of 10 times it's just very hard. So I really don't trade often, to be completely honest. I try to get really good setups, nail my entries, and then get the hell out of there and go enjoy life. So that's the real answer. I don't really have a number, but I don't trade that often, actually, every day. And Mike, it's more than okay to be like, all right, I'm good. I'm good for today. Unless you have another planned trade that hasn't unfolded, I just walk away and show up the next day ready to go. So that's the thing, guys. And I think, as everyone will find their own balance eventually, I'm someone who, I'm trying to word this right. I have nothing better to do, meaning, I'm a full-time trader. If I stop trading right now, I have nowhere to go, no quote unquote responsibilities. So I do spend most of my time at the charts. But even then, guys, I'm not trading all day. I really I'm here because I like the game. And there are, just a few moments where it's A+ in my opinion. And that's when I, try to execute. Like right now, guys, we had a lot of good opportunity this morning, and now it just looks like a chop fest. So this is where generally I would walk away, at least for today, for the afternoon. Tom, not yet. I'll be hopefully settled in June. I'm getting through my class and then making the move. So if we have a lot of Dallas, Texas people, we'll do a little meetup to celebrate a class together. Mario, on tax day, got 1040 on scalping for gains. Is that a sign to stop? IRS probably says keep trading, but all right, chop team. So again, I'm having a lot of fun here just answering these questions. So Chris, is it safe to assume when you do a strangle on the S&P, you do on SPX since it's cash settled? Correct, my friend. Correct. Better risk reward, cash settled. It's just kind of planting risk and seeing what happens. I don't do it often. It really has to have the stars align. But it can be a great strategy just because of the risk reward ratio, meaning if it actually moves, one of them is greatly going to cover the other. And that's why I love options. So it's like, okay, buy puts it 1, I calls it 1. One of them is going to go 1 to 5. So, net, you're up 4. You lose your 1, you keep the rest, for example. So market looks like it wants to kind of reverse here, guys. Let's just look a little bit. I'll go back into questions, but we're starting to trend decently off these lows here for NQ. Nothing crazy. We're kind of still slightly trending down, and we need to get back through this 5-minute cloud. So we'll set an alert here. ES likewise is kind of just based in here, guys, on point of control. So remember we talked about this morning, we could rip through this zone, we could fall to the bottom and rip through it, or we could just sit inside of it and chop all day. Unfortunately, we're getting to sit inside and chop all day, but only 11 o'clock. But something's got to give here, team. Again, I want to be very cautious if market just goes sideways. It's not ideal environments to trade. So we obviously have all day, but for now, I would recommend some patience. But if we can start to clear this 1-minute cloud, it looks like we're done going lower. It's just a matter of how high do we go. Let's take a quick peek at internals, team, and you can see, for market really to rip here, ADD should start to get going through 0. So I always recommend, guys, setting these alerts on, the current range of ADD. So you get a sense, if we break range. And you guys should have this internals chart, but if you don't have it, I'm going to share it again real quick. And again, I know we didn't cover this, so I'll slowly start to teach it, but at least you'll have it. DPS, if I swing trade, which cloud would be better to track? 2-hour, 4-hour, and daily? Yeah, DPS, I'd focus on those bigger ones. So, hourly, 2-hour, 4-hour, et cetera, et cetera. Where, the 1-minute, 5-minute aren't going to matter to you. But remember the cloud sequence. That's the biggest thing I would focus on. So for example, if you want to trade a name like Airbnb and you're looking to, trade it and swing it off the bottom, I would at least look for it to start to, clear some of those clouds to give you that sense that it's gonna, actually reverse. So again, we can use that information to trade it on a daily basis. We can use that information to swing it, et cetera, et cetera. Ken, when I trade SPX, I always use same-day expiration. So I generally only trade SPX on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. On the other days, the risk reward just generally isn't really worth it. You have to pay more to play. They don't go up as much, et cetera, et cetera. Benji, I like to leg into verticals with big moves up to reduce risk. That's something you consider at some levels as well. Makes it easier to stay in a trade longer, like snow on Friday. You can, Benji. Personally, I don't like to truly, leg into trades. I like to kind of, determine the risk that I'd be okay allocating to this setup and thesis, making sure I allocate it when and where I should, and then just kind of letting it unfold. Where in the past, where I've tried to add as the move starts to work, I actually got myself in trouble. So yeah, Ranji, usually I just go with multiple contracts and then scale out. That's, typically what I do. Because again, in the past, guys, I would, just for basic numbers here, say you bought snow right here, right? So again, basic numbers, we buy one contract and it pops. We're just holding it and it starts to go again. So we buy another one. Well, now we're down on that one. And now our other one just kind of, dying here. So it's one of those things where I like to get that pinpoint entry with the size that I'm comfortable with and then see what happens and then, manage it from there. Where again, where I've gotten in trouble is, I'll have a winning layer here and I'll add a layer and that layer will ruin everything. That's the unfortunate nature with options is the higher they go, as soon as that move fails or stops, they wipe that value. So that's why, again, we want to have options guys at a good price and just, scale out as they continue to explode. Let's pay attention here, guys. We're still just struggling at the cloud. I mean, this is a massive chop fest, but we're obviously going to watch it regardless. ALT, 3 scalps, SPX, Snow, and Roku. Nice work, my friend. Awesome stuff. Martin, teach MMA? I could do that. A little Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at the meetup. Artful trader. I'd be a better trader if I made a full-time job. Yeah, I get that, my man. There are 2 flip sides to it, though. If you don't have an income from trading, it makes trading harder. So if you have a job on the side, it'll actually make you a better trader. You might not have as much time to trade, but the time you do have to trade will be more effective. Where I tried to make this my job a little too early in life, and I was just going broke. Because again, I wasn't making any money. Wasn't making money from trading, didn't have a job, nothing. So it's one of those things, team, where you can have some type of income coming in, and then you slowly start to work, whether to make this your full-time job. It really helps to have that, money coming in. It just makes your life so much easier. Ken, do I expect the afternoon to be different? It all depends, Ken. Things can change at any moment. That's what's great about trading. In 10 minutes, we could absolutely just implode here and we'll play puts. We could absolutely rip. We'll have to see. It's truly just one of those things, minute by minute. And that's why, you just set alerts. You wait and see what happens. That's why I never walk too far away. But you do have to recognize, when we are in the middle of nowhere. Tom, I love it. Us Dallas people can use some scalp and profits to pay for happy hour. Yeah, guys, I'm more than down. I'll holler when I'm in Dallas. We'll coordinate that. That'd be an honor. Bill, I've been successful going 1 OTM out of the money and no higher. Is that okay to keep doing? Yeah, Bill, absolutely. Slightly OTM is typically where I like to play as well. Uh-oh, Tom, gonna show me how you guys party in Dallas? Ken, I use same-day expirations for SPX. Brian, do I ever enter a position intraday to set up for afternoon trading? Not typically, Brian. Again, these are my scalping strategies, guys. So I'm kind of trying to keep the conversation focused on scalping. So for scalping, no, right? That would just kind of go against the rules. But for day trading, yes, Brian, I will put on little feeler trades to see if it can unfold in the afternoon. One of my favorite things to do that on is squeezes. We know if a squeeze is starting to look decent but hasn't quite popped, allocate a little risk inside to see if second half it'll start to go. And I've had some good success doing that. It's just one of those things as a true day trader and scalper, like I don't really like to allocate risk until it's time. That's the thing, guys, as I've taught you with inflection points, zones, etc., we almost know when it's time. And, that's where we can put our money to work and then boom, it ends up, either working instantly or not working instantly. So let's see here, team. Again, we're kind of just going sideways here, but doesn't mean we won't get a little breakdown here. Fish, the trick for adjusting your charts, my friend, is just zoom in and get to that place where you only need to watch. So if it's too spread out, just drag it to the distance that you want to see. And all right, team, might get interesting here. Let's pay attention. We're still just rejecting that 1 minute cloud very, very hard. We're just continuing to slightly trend down here, team. We're stuffing that 5 minute cloud, both ES and NQ. We're about to break this slight uptrend from this morning. Again, always be careful, guys, right at point of control. See if we break through it or if we hold again. Now, much of the 4110 puts, guys, in SPX, they just popped about 40% here in one candle. Let's keep watching these. Again, guys, we got our ADD. It's just kind of going up and down this range here. So much like the market, guys, we can also focus on little, patterns. So if we break this little, uptrend we're trying to hold here for ADD, it's also a good sign that, this might be a real flush. I'll keep that in the corner for now. Excuse me. Wall Steam, not yet, not to my knowledge. You can set alerts with the cloud. I can meet with some coders, see if that's possible. Still getting you guys being picky. Picky. Always want to be cautious, guys. I hope I've really drilled in point of control. It's a serious level where it's like expect something here. So never be in a rush right at it. Oh, Surf City, man. Saturday night fights were great. I'm pretty bummed my man Chandler lost, but that was a hell of a fight. Michael, I noticed you have point of control for the day, week, and month in your charts. Can you explain how you use them? So yeah, Michael, honestly, I only really focus on the monthly point of control. So, I've broken down how to use that many times, just, the magnet and the cannon effect. The only secondary one you can use is the weekly, just if you need another reference point. But generally, I'm just focused on that monthly. Sorry, guys, I'm a little behind in the chat here. AP, my plan to do more classes or just more trading days? I probably got one more class in me, my friend. As you know, my career here in Simpler. This is truly, one of my strategies. And then my second strategy is more of the day trading, swing trading approach with options. So in the future, I would like to, have a class on that. It does incorporate a lot of the same tools, but the methodology is quite different. So that's kind of, the last thing where I'm excited to share. But moving forward, I hope to just be able to, live trade with you guys in a manner consistently. So we'll see what happens. Mark, seems like you focus on only a few stocks. Nailed it. What is your core watch list that you build your thesis from? So I will, I can share with you guys my top list, but just off the top of my head, I focus mostly on FANG, so Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix. I focus on, Roku, Square, Tesla. I'll show you guys my list. So this is my list here, team. This is I call it my war list. These are the names that I love, care about. These are the names where I don't want to miss anything on them. Right? I don't even have Microsoft on here. So some of these names, guys, I don't even touch. The bottom part of my list, I barely even play unless they're setting up nicely. So really, most of my business comes from trading the top of the list. So again, it's just the markets, Apple, Vidi, Facebook, Google, Roku, Square, PayPal, Tesla, Shop. This is just in my wheelhouse. So it's kind of all the big tech names, chips, etc. That's what I personally like the most. Santi, I'd like to watch you do some puts. I believe we've only been doing calls, right? Me personally, yeah. So I won't I won't force a put trade, but if it's present, yeah, we'll take it. But for the past few days, guys, the market's been going up. So we got trade which way mama's going. Steve, do I use trend and internals? I actually do not. That's the one internal that I don't use. I think it's a great internal. I'm very comfortable with ADD and tick, and I haven't needed much else. I know John does a great job of teaching trend though in his book. AP, when using the squeeze, do you focus on 4 hour? Yeah, I like daily squeezes, 4 hours, 2 hour, 1 hour, any good time frame like that. Albion, where would you place your stop on the snow trade? Great question. So remember, guys, when we trade, we want to try to get as close to inflection points as we can. So we had this little 210 level here, and we had this little cloud and wedge. So realistically, I entered right here on this little red candle. I would probably exit below this cloud. So I'd give it a minute to slip into it. Ideally, don't want that to happen, but I do want to be a little bit flexible. So I would have stopped out below here. Right, with my target just being back into the zone. Oh, yeah, this market is messy, team. Messy, messy, messy. Make sure you guys protect your capital. BC, is VWAP really all that useful? I mean, not to pick on it, but if I had to remove any indicator, it would probably be VWAP. It only really comes into play, once or twice a day. So it serves its purpose, but it's definitely not one I would cry if they took away. I'd be okay without it, but it is important since we have it. Surf City seems like SPX is the best scalping name. I'd say it's the best day trading name. It can be a bit mean if you try to scalp it too much because they just rip premium out of 0 days. So, if you are getting too aggressive with it, scalping, it can bite you. But yeah, it is by far, the best name for sure. All right, guys, looks like I am pretty much caught up on questions here. Appreciate it. Dennis, do I usually mark zones in SPX? No, I actually just mark my zones on ES and trade SPX. They'll always line up pretty much exactly the same. It's the same entity, just a little different. All right, we're melting down here, guys. So NQ kind of started that flush. Hasn't really been the best flush here for SPX. Keep an eye on ADD. We're about to kind of break that trend line. So 100 contracts. Day 1, we watched snow because of the upgrade, and day 2, we watched it for what I just call a day 2. So whenever a good name has a really good day of accumulation, it'll typically have a second day, especially after a name like Snow just got beat up so much. So, the fact that it went so well on Friday, I figured it belonged in the list again today. And Snow did its job right to that zone. So that's why it made it on. Most of the time, I actually don't even watch Snow. But it's setting up. Benji, I'll absolutely look at Roblox. I actually did a little prep of them this weekend. We'll take a peek. We'll probably do that in the second half, guys. Paul, by any chance you've been able to ask about releasing your friend's TOS study for POC? No, guys, I'll ask him, and I don't think he'll have a problem because it's simply just a basic line of code that tells you where point of control is. So I'll make a mental note to ask him that. DPS, add forming ascending triangle. How do we identify if it would break up or down? We don't, my friend. We wait and see. So, just confluence. The market flushed here, but ADD didn't. So that makes me a little hesitant to short the market. We got a big tick here. So it's just kind of combining things and seeing what happens, right? If it does break here, we'll know about it. Gary, what do you got, my friend? Scan for Ichimoku breaks. Oh, interesting. Thank you, my friend. I'll check that out later. Yeah, BC. Those Airbnb calls went to 0. I don't know if that volume was buying or selling, but everyone that bought just got destroyed. Bill, if I only scalped one stock, what would it be? I would probably just have to say SPX if I could only pick one. Because you get the 3 days per week, and it's going to move most of the time with everything else. And yeah, Mark, there is a tax advantage, guys, to SPX over SPY. So another thing to consider as we all start making a ton of money. So again, team, real quick here, this is why ADD can actually really help you, where this should be flushing, guys, if the market's actually going to bottom and drop. And that's why, Chan, why aren't you buying puts? Honestly, guys, I don't fully believe in the drop right now. With point of control, there's always a little manipulation at it. So, until the stars align, I'm going to leave this market alone. Jay Brad, the cloud projects into the future. How do you use that? Same way you use the cloud, that's currently there, my friend. So like, for example, on Snow, when it was pulling back, we had the cloud projection. So as I mentioned, I said I would love to see it near the cloud, start to base and give us an entry. And that's exactly what it did. So you can use it, my friend, to plan, support and resistance. You can use it to plan, where it might shift trend, et cetera, et cetera. So like this was a great example, when it's falling and it's giving us a forward projection, it's almost like, all right, cool. If we can just kind of fall near that, start to base near it, I like that trade. Now, again, we might have just dropped right through it and never dealt with it, but we did deal with that forward projection and it worked pretty nicely. Sandy, do I trade NDX? I actually do not. The premiums are pretty crazy on NDX. Let me see. I look at them right now. Yeah, it's just I don't really want to play 0 days that cost this much. And as you can see, guys, no one really plays them, right? The volume is kind of non-existent, where if you look at SPX, all right, everyone's playing them. So if you do want to take advantage of, technology, I'd consider QQQ or TQQQ. Right, so just a little better. You get the 0 days as well. So yeah, I just ignore NDX because the monster premium. Remember, guys, I like to take advantage of cheap premium. make a lot of money on it. I don't really like to overpay into things. Josh, awesome question. When highlighting zones, how do you decide if an inflection point is the top of a zone versus the bottom of a zone? Great question, Josh. I actually want to spend, guys, some of our second session, and I'll rather say if it's choppy, we can spend some of our session, guys, marking up some charts together. Because it's hard to say that, Josh. It really just starts with plotting key inflection points, and then you'll slowly start to logically see, which ones should be zoned. So it's not like, oh, this should be the top, this should be the bottom. But for example, why did I have snow like this instead of, this being bottom and this being top? There is a reason for that. So that is a great question. We're running short on time, so I'll save it for the next half, but I am excited to cover that. So just hold that thought, Josh. Butch, when I say SPX has 3 days, I mean it has the same day expiration 3 days a week. So we get to take advantage of pretty volatile premium. The only way to double your money, guys, in minutes is with volatility. And that happens on, options that expire the same day usually. So with SPX, they expire every Monday, every Wednesday, and every Friday. So you get 3 chances to play those types of premiums, where otherwise, Butch, every other name in the market, NVIDIA, Roku, whatever, every stock only expires on Friday. So that's one, reason. That's what I mean by the 3 days. All right, here, team. So yeah, we're unfortunately just kind of chopping, but I hope everyone's had a great first half. Hopefully, we're all a little bit green. Hopefully, we've all gotten a little bit better, and we'll see what the rest of the session brings us. But as we wind down here, guys, for the last 10 minutes, I'll just continue to take some questions. But really, not any setups that I'm eyeing right now that look worth our capital, team. Because remember, any little trade right now is just such a secondary trade that we want to not take a lot of those. So gonna kind of wait for our pitch here. And yeah, Steve, learning how to navigate chop is a lesson in itself. Absolutely. Butch made your first profit trading. Hey, congrats, man. That's awesome. ALT, a little greener, a little smarter. That's the goal every day, right? Gonzalo, is the Squeeze Pro help in any way your strategy? Yes, I absolutely love the Squeeze Pro. Just because I love the Squeeze. And so if you guys know the Squeeze, the Pro just gives you more at-bats at your favorite setup, to quote John. Mozzie made 310 in SPX. Nice. Let's go. So this is the not problem with point of control. It's never a problem if you know it's there. It's a problem if you don't know it's there. This level, guys, remember, it's a magnet. So we started last night at the top of the magnet. So overnight, we drift, we drift, we drift. We pretty much get to our magnet. We get a little pop, it open, and then we're stuck on the magnet. We get a little pop, we're back to the magnet. We get a little pop, back to the magnet. So this is why, guys, I want to practice a lot of patience here. Is remember from the training, when we get to point of control, we want to be careful. We want to be ready to see what happens, because remember, it could just sit on this magnet for as long as it wants, where if we give it a little time, it might explode off of it, it might drop off of it. And that's what I'm looking here, guys, for the second half. But for now, we are just glued to POC, which is its purpose. So now we just wait and see. Ken, do you have the screen done for placing the trades? What do you mean, Ken? Just like a flex grid for you guys? Because if that's your question, you should already have some. Yeah, Ken. So that should be in the room drive or the class file. If you need it again, let me know. But it should have the two active cherries in the middle, et cetera, et cetera. Mark, do you have further resources you recommend for point and control learning? Uh, in the most humble way possible, guys, I don't think you need any more, to be honest. This is an indicator I've been using for years, and I know it might sound very simple the way I use it, but it's literally that simple. So I wouldn't overcomplicate it. I wouldn't try to dig into it, trying to learn something else. If I can help you understand it more, let me know. But I've pretty much given you everything you need. So if you do want to, look further into it, you could study a volume profile, Mark. But again, what I gave you guys, that's it. It's a magnet, it's a cannon. That's it. Just know where it is. So let me ask you guys, any setups you're watching that, fit our system that are starting to look decent that you want me to check out here? And BMAX, actually, I don't use scans. The only scan I would recommend would be finding, a basic squeeze scanner. But I just don't use scans, guys. I just have a focus list. I know how to prep. I mark my levels, and then I go trade. Scans can be a great, team, but just make sure the scan helps your business. So remember, I'm not looking for other stocks at all. I don't really care. And I have my watch list. So I just care that I do well on my watch list. So scans really only help you find names. So just make sure your scan is helping you, whether build that list or whatever. But so let's see, guys. Let's just flip through a few names here to see, what's happened today. What has happened? Because overall, pretty messy, but regardless, a pretty good day here in the books. So let's go to a 5-minute here, team. We'll just, look at one day just so we can see, what happened today. So remember Amazon, guys. This is one where I personally took off my radar because I don't like to pay those premiums that happen on a Monday. But again, I think the biggest lesson on this one, team, was one, zone to zone, but two, relative strength. Relative strength is not something a lot of people talk about, but this is why, guys, I like pre-market data on. A lot of people will tell you turn it off, and they might be right, but that's for their strategy and system. For my strategy and my system, after hours is gold, and it gives you so much information. Not only does it give you key levels, guys, but it tells you something called relative strength. So again, just to reiterate this lesson here, Amazon was the only name set to gap up. That doesn't happen, team, right? NQ gonna gap down 0.5%. Google gonna gap down. Facebook gonna gap down. Apple gonna gap down. Amazon, for some reason, wants to gap up and go. So usually, guys, there's a reason while that's happening. So remember to stack catalysts. If there was a news behind this, if it got upgraded, that's just another reason to play it. But without that, one was just pure relative strength, where it's like if the market's gonna go, Amazon's telling you, hey, I'm the leader today. It's like in school when they picked the line leader. Amazon had its hand up right away. You get to lead zone to zone. So just to break down this zone here, team. All right, basic inflection points, guys. So we dive on Monday, and then we pop on Monday, and then we dive even harder. So what are the 2 points that created those levels? First was the open of Monday. That caused us to drop from 3280 down to here. When we popped, team, right, this high caused another beautiful drop. So that was what gave us our, two bigger inflection points, giving us our map. We had the 200-day moving average, a big moving average I personally like to focus on, and just called it a wick. With moving averages, guys, most of the time you'll be able to just find a wick that sits right near it. So for the 200-day moving average, to show it to you on a daily chart, it's right here. So I simply just grabbed that wick to give us a little zone to focus on. Next was point of control. So as I recommend, team, focus on the movement that point of control takes. So it was above at 33.06 to end last week, and then it stepped down to where it currently is. So as we know, it's a magnet and it's a cannon. So we have our inflection point, our prior magnet, and our other magnet. And quickly, guys, it holds one and just rips right to the next key zone pretty fast. So that's a nice little example here of what happened on Amazon today. Let's just keep flipping through a few here, team. We'll run out of time. So let's see, we had Roku on our list as well. Not sure why I didn't type. Try again, Roku. So yeah, Roku, guys, is messy. And remember, I mentioned this morning. It's in a messier range. So if and when it can clear this zone, that's when we have a much better trade. Other than that, guys, all it's doing is going back and forth to liquidity. Point of control. Big rip, big drop, big rip, big drop. You can still scalp it, but overall, guys, it's pretty much a mess here. So personally, I'm going to wait for Roku to break this zone at some point this week. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does. Tesla, another name team where they're just in the middle of nowhere. Their biggest inflection points aren't even near the stock. So this is, again, part of the prep process is finding what's in play. To me, guys, between the news that's going on with Tesla, between them selling Bitcoin, not selling Bitcoin, all the speculation, I'm just going to ignore this thing for now. So not only is it in the middle of nowhere, not doing much. So for Tesla here, guys, and this is why it's so important, I have really good inflection points here, right? Beautiful inflection points. As long as we sit in the middle, this is kind of that, don't touch zone. Now, again, you can come in here and try to scalp it, team, but focus on those names that have better ranges, that are actually moving out of their current range, like a Snow. Right, guys, Snow has just been exploding through its key levels. That's why we've been playing it. A name like Tesla, it's on my list, team, but it's on my let it set up list. So again, it might break here on Friday and we play it. Might not do anything, but yeah, it's a no man's land. And this is why, guys, it's important to have just a basic prep process, right? Quick Tesla glance, nothing to do. One thing I do like is point of control is way above. I doubt it'll stay there if we keep chopping here, but if it does, at some point, whether it's this week, next week, we could run here. So I'll be ready. But right now, I'm ready to protect my capital and not touch it. So I hope that makes sense, guys. And let's see, let's just flip through a few more here, and then we'll take our first break, team. So Square, still setting up. It's actually nearing a nice little key level here. Friday's low. Man, every time I want to trade Roblox, I take it off my radar and it works. I was looking for this thing to just break this downside wedge. And wow, beautiful. And head back to a point of control. Yeah, that was a perfect trade. So again, guys, this is why you truly can have any list of names and just go through it and make money. It's just a matter of what do you care about? What are you comfortable with? If you want to be a Roblox trader, be one. But all right, guys, that is that, my friends. We've been going since 9 a.m. Eastern, good 2.5 hours. So I'm sure we're all ready for a little bit of a break. Before I do that, guys, just want to lay out a quick few things to look at here. So one is obviously the overall market. Pay attention, team. If we start to get, true volume off of this point of control, we could have that drop down towards 421.26. And one big thing that I'll recommend watching, team, is what's called descending volume. As long as this volume keeps just descending lower, be a bit cautious. But for some reason, if we get a big spike of selling that breaks this little wedge, or even a big pop, then we might get our next little opportunity here, team. But overall, we're just kind of chopping, chopping, chopping. And Q, focus on low of day. We broke that wedge and we stopped right at low of day. So if we just continue to drop here, guys, look for that low of day break down towards our next key zone. Other than that, guys, don't really have many other names on the watch list. Let's just take a peek. So for NVIDIA here, yeah, just kind of stuck in our zones, guys. So we'll keep an eye on low a day. But yeah, other than that, team, hope you've had a great morning. Again, hope you've gotten a little bit better. And I'll be in the chat for a little bit, guys, but definitely going to enjoy my break this time. So that's it, fam. We will be back at 1 Central, so 2 my time. And then we'll go into the close together. So show prepared, guys. Go get a little bit of rest. I'll come back with some hopefully good setups. If we do, we'll trade. If not, we'll provide value, team. But thanks, guys. Enjoy your break.